Okay, so Roy Moore, the serial accused child sex assaulter who narrowly lost the Alabama Senate election in 2017 to Doug Jones after numerous sexual assault allegations against him, is running again in 2020. And quite frankly, why wouldn't he? I mean, he almost won, right? I've told you that despite being almost identical on many issues, Republicans and Democrats handle sexual assault allegations against candidates in their party very, very differently. Roy Moore got 48.3% of the vote in the election that he ultimately lost in Alabama. He almost won. So why wouldn't he run again? You'll remember, compare and contrast, that Al Franken, Democratic senator, for something much more minor, was forced to resign by both Republicans, but ultimately because even Democrats said, yeah, Al Franken should probably go, while Roy Moore was almost given a Senate seat despite multiple allegations against him, including some involving teenage girls. And the funniest thing about this, if there's anything funny, and this is basically just serious, but there's one funny element about this, there are prominent Republicans pretending that Roy Moore is an outlier in a sense, that he's not representative of the Republican Party, but they're actually wrong. Unfortunately for the Republican Party and for America, this is exactly representative of the Republican Party. Nikki Haley is Donald Trump's former ambassador to the United Nations. She's the former governor of South Carolina. And she came forward to say on Twitter, quote, "Who in the world are his advisors? At what point does he think another run will have a different response? He does not represent our Republican Party." The hell is she talking about? This guy is completely representative of the Republican Party. And you know that because almost every Republican in Alabama voted for him, despite multiple sexual assault allegations against him. And he barely lost. He got 48.3% of the vote. If Republicans had a problem with Roy Moore, if they felt that a candidate riddled with sexual assault allegations against him, including those involving teenage girls, they wouldn't have almost elected him U.S. Senator from Alabama. Trump was elected despite allegations that he sexually assaulted countless women, including an underage girl. Alabama Republicans nominated Roy Moore. They selected him from a choice of Republican options, and then almost all of them voted for him to a degree that almost got him the Senate seat, 48.3% of the total vote. So let's be clear. Yes, there are lots of Republicans like Nikki Haley who see Roy Moore's another candidacy, I don't know what number it makes, as a strategic mistake. They say, well, if someone else ran against Democrat Doug Jones in the very red state of Alabama, we would likely win this seat back from Democrats. But with Roy Moore, Doug Jones might get himself reelected. That's true, but that's simply the Republican Party seeing this as sport, which they do, and seeing this as wins and losses. We'll see what happens in the Republican primary in Alabama. There's still lots of time for other Republicans to get in and challenge Roy Moore. Very long list of possible candidates already surfacing. Either way, regardless of this seat, I don't see the math for Democrats to take control of the Senate in 2020 just because of which seats are up for re-election. But Doug Jones holding on to this seat would be terrific because it's one seat we don't have to win back in 2022 in order to take control of the Senate then. Again, I don't see any path for Democrats to take control in 2020, but still holding the Doug Jones seat rather than losing it back to a Republican, which is arguably predictable in Alabama, is one seat we don't have to make up for in 2022, potentially to take control back of the Senate. So let's do what we can when the time comes to help Doug Jones get reelected in Alabama.